box with all the knowledge and all the insights. Campbell, how are you feeling for today?
To be honest, my friend, I'm feeling very confident. I've seen how the Zimbabwe Sables have prepared for this campaign to take our country back to glory. And under the leadership of Peter Bernardi and Hilton Mudariki, I believe the lads have a great opportunity in front of them to take this country back to where it belongs.
Well, looking at the warm-up, I saw a lot of razzle-dazzle from the Sables and a lot of good structures in place. So hopefully we get to see that through the match and we will be in for a spectacle. But as we can see, the Zambians taking the field as we get ready for the national anthems.
Yes, the Zambian side looking quite hefty, looking like big boys. We would hope their fitness is also matching their size. That way they can give the Sables a run for their money, but obviously the home side should prevail if they don't make mistakes.
Well, you are right, Campbell, but as we said earlier, they're playing for the coveted Zambezi Challenger Cup, so the battle of the Zambezi. And it will be Zambia who lead on first.
Yes, the battle for Zambezi is on today. Who can show their dominance in Southern Africa? Both these teams have big aspirations for the year. I believe Zimbabwe, being the African Cup champions, would be considered the favorites in this encounter. But they're boys, there they go, led by my captain, Hilton Mudariki. Behind him is Aidan Burnett and the vice-captain, Dion Kumalo. The boys are looking clean, the Nedbank uniforms, everything is on point for them to show their resilience and their fortitude and get the outcome that all the Zimbabweans want. The fans came out in the numbers. What do you think of this game today, my boy?
I think, as you said, Zimbabwe, the Sables are the favorites. However, sport has a funny way of upsetting those who are overconfident. So this match will have to be very carefully constructed by the Sables, but all to play for. The Zambezi Challenge Cup 2025 hosted at Harare Sports Club. And we wait for the national anthem, which will be performed, by the way, by Gemma Griffiths. So just pointing out the importance of this fixture.
No, yes, Gemma is a fellow musician, and you know, she is quite talented with the vernac, and she will be leading today's national anthem. Look at the boys from Zambia, all looking clean. The boys from Zimbabwe, all looking clean at the same time, ready for a fixture that should be memorable for these Zimbabwean fans.
Stand if you can for the national anthem of the Republic of Zambia. Please, may we be upstanding for the national anthem of the Republic of Zimbabwe. And for the national anthem of the Republic of Zimbabwe, I call Brian Kay, Gemma Griffiths, and Kyla Black. Come on, come on, come on. Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe Sables, Zambia Eagles have forgot to come back.
Bro, I'm actually going to move this side too.
So after national anthems have been sung and waiting for Loso Mtongwiza, the president of the Zimbabwe Rugby Union, to do his handshakes, it will now be up to the men on the field who will look to have a good start to the game. Final photo.
And yes, that's a well-deserved photo, if I'm being honest. I can't recall, well, at least maybe it's recent memory or just bias. The boys are looking very clean today.
And we just saw there a bit of intimidation tactics there from the Zambians. The Eagles just flapping their wings at the crowd, letting them know that they will not be intimidated by the hostility. But for the Sables, it will be the first test of the 2025 season, and the goal here throughout the year and next year will be to qualify for the World Cup, and there will be a lot of work to be done here. So as we see on the Sables side, the bomb squad resume their places on the bench, and the Eagles are now making their way back to the bench as well. But it will be the Eagles kicking off to the Sables, so Sables will have the first possession and the first strike and punch at that Eagles back line and defensive line. And there will be a huge battle going on in the middle of the park. How will Zambia fare? Looking, sizing up both sides. It is very fair to say that the Sables do have the size on their side. And how will the Zambians cope? But as the whistle blows, it will be the Zambians to get the game started. Number 10,
And we have
Lukwesa.
kickoff underway. The captain, Hilton, unfortunately fumbles, but gets it quickly to LT with the big boot and kicks it straight out. Great retreat from LT.
Yep, obviously a bit of first match jitters in front of the home crowd, and a 7 games unbeaten streak. So I think Captain Hilty just feeling a little bit there, but a good recovery from Tambuera. And so the Sables get themselves just past the 10-meter line, and the Eagles will be in within striking position inside the half.
And Zambia will be looking to penetrate that green and white wall where Burnett makes the tackle. Very solid tackle, rolls away. Zambia still with the possession. Already a physical encounter, as we can see the big hits coming in from the boys from Zimbabwe. Driven back by Big Dave, and there's the passion from the boy.
Mulenga picks the ball out, finds Lukwesa. Lukwesa Gives it over to Fisonge, who is held up in the tackle. Again, Mulenga has a bit of running room, tackled by Chang, one of the bright new young sparks in the men's Sables side. Was a part of the 2023 junior Sables setup, and now Bernardi has tagged him onto the team. Hard hits coming from the Sables, meeting Zambia at the gain line, and still holding well onto possession. Mulenga finds Beka almost loses the ball. Bennett trying to jackal, still moving forward. The Zambians not gaining much ground, and they've stayed within this 10-meter zone here.
Yes, the Sables defense is proving to be very... Oh, and they find a bit of space with the number 8. Hands off, Hilton. He's still going. That's a strong busting run, but he knocks it on, unfortunately. And fortunately for the Zimbabweans, they catch a break from the mistake from the number 8 from Zambia.
Rogers Mukopa just being passed a beautiful ball, running a great line, splitting the Sables line in half, and with a half opportunity, they're looking for an offload, couldn't quite do it and lost the ball in contact. But wow, the Eagles are flapping their wings. I'll tell you what, the claws are out and they are ready to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with the Sables.
Yes, they do not seem intimidated at all by the home crowd and are coming in with full force to hopefully beat the home side. Hilton to put in the ball. Burnett makes the break, passes it along to Pure Malenga, makes a clean hit through the Zambian defense, but unfortunately, mistake at the breakdown, and penalties awarded to Zambia.
Early penalty conceded for the Sables right in front of the sticks. It should be an easy call for the skipper, and the cone makes its way straight away. And it is Alex Mwewa in the number 14 jersey who will be doing the duties of getting the first points in this match and put Zimbabwe hunting down the scoreline, possibly 3 points to 0. Shouldn't be missing this one. And sinks it straight down the furniture. So the Zambian Eagles go up with 3 points to 0 and apply the pressure to the home players. As now Mudariki looks to regroup his men after a bit of a lackluster start. Yes, there were a couple of crunching hits, but it's definitely not the start.
And we're getting a restart from LT, one of the seasoned veterans on the side, alongside with Hilton Mudariki. I believe LT made his first debut right out of high school in 2012 when they won the Africa Cup. And what a kick from LT. Can they capitalize? Yes! And they go in like quick as lightning. LT and his kicking, one of the biggest strengths for the Sable side. And with the rugby balls bouncing, never being quite assured, it was anyone's ball to take. Unfortunately, the rugby gods today seem to be on the Sable side.
Well, Nyasha Shiripinda on debut gets a try. You won't get anything easier than that. And as you said, Campbell, that's why rugby coaches will always say to you, never let the ball bounce on a kickoff. Exactly for that reason. And Zambia paid the price. 10 seconds as they've just taken the lead. And there will now be number 10, who is
Linian Sabuera. This is currently one of the best, if not the best, kickers in the country. Looking to cement his position in that number 10 jersey. And he slots it through like the veteran that he is. LT, cool, calm, collected, composed. That is what experience can do for a side. And Hilton, being in the national side for the last 13 years, has clearly shown his experience to be something that can aid the Sable side in claiming victory.
So the Sables take back the lead. 7 points to 3 after the kick goes askew. It's Kumalo.
Great step from Dion Kumalo. passes through. That is the young man who took the under-20s to glory. Another pass. Unfortunately, they knocked the ball. A great idea, but unfortunately, the pass hitting the back of the Zambians. And looks like a bit of a scuffle breaking through. Obviously, it's a physical game. These men are men after all. And hopefully we can get the break of play. Hopefully Big Dave is coming in to compose things. And essentially also the captain, Hilton Manariki. This is the game of rugby, ladies and gentlemen. So emotions will be high. This is a test match. This is the Zambezi Challenge. And we're excited. Essentially, a lot of drama is already ensued. And likely a sign of things to come.
Yep, high tensions, high frustrations, high emotions. This is an important match for the Sables to keep their running streak, but also Zambia with a lot of pent-up anger from the matches they've lost recently to the Sables. And so a lot riding on this match.
And the referee opting just to give a verbal warning to the gentlemen from both sides. And looks like we'll have 30 men staying on the field at least.
Yeah, fair enough on the rest. Just first time round will just be a warning. Nothing cynical there. Just a bit of an argy-bargy and a couple of words exchanged. But nothing too cynical, nothing detrimental to the game. However, ref will not be tolerating anymore. Oh, a strong shove from the Sables. Eventually the ball does pop out and
goes to Thaddeus Zandiwanira. And he makes a bolstering run through the Zambian defense. They had space on the blind, but the ref quickly gives them a penalty. And looking probably to go for Paul's would-be LT. We'll see what decision they make. And unfortunately, Thaddeus Zandiwanira is on the ground after his counter-attacking run. And it's a sign of how physical this game has been, really, even though we're still at the early stages.
Yeah, hopefully he makes a swift recovery, but it doesn't look like that will be the case. Just in that tackle, you could see his head got caught on the wrong side, and all the weight on top of him, it didn't look very good. The stretcher comes out, and hopefully Thaddeus can make a swift recovery. But on the bench, they'll probably look to Ryan Mushumi, who is on debut today. Played rugby down south and for Stellenbosch, if I'm not incorrect.
So it's funny you bring up that name, Ryan Musumi. Ryan Musumi is a former Mbare Academy prodigy. Him and along with Shingi Kachere used to play together. Then coming from that system, they were both awarded scholarships. I believe Ryan Musumi took the scholarship to go to Kyle College. Should have been 2015 where he started playing for Mr. Odendahl. And Shingi Kachere went to join Sean D'Souza at Prince Edward during the same time. And obviously you saw the dominance of those years for those schools. Kyle was a top 3 school in the country. Prince Edward obviously has this reputation. And essentially, unfortunately, Thaddeus Zandiwanira is still on the ground. They've brought out a stretcher. Thaddeus Zandiwanira is rags to riches story, if you would say. He was a football player from Chitungwiza and essentially was told you can play rugby, and because he had the soccer skills, the football skills, he excelled. And it's just unfortunate to see him coming off like this so early in the game. He's got a very good spirit, does the young man. Lot of experience, helped Zimbabwe all the way to the Africa Cup victory last year. Still in the system, looking to take us to the World Cup. And unfortunately, he's been taken out this early.
Well, it will be unfortunate for him, but you can see there in the corner, top right, it is Ryan Musumi, who is having a good and thorough warm-up, coming onto the park sooner than anticipated. And it will be a little bit heartbreaking for the Sables to lose a player so early on. As you can see, both sides have split off into their fractions. The backs all huddling together, the forwards making sure that they are all combined and thinking the same. And with this stop time, it will be a great time for Zambia also to recuperate after what was a poor try. And there goes Thaddeus, carried off from the stretcher. The crowd claps him off. Unfortunately, he will not be seeing through the rest of the game, and hopefully he will be back in time for the season.
And like you said, it is Ryan Masumi who is walking in. Now, what I will tell you about Ryan Masumi, he is an electric player. I do believe that the national side would benefit greatly with his talents. He fits the mold of Edward Segalke. So we are excited to see what he's going to bring to the field.
So Tambuera sends the Sables into the 22, just outside the 22 of the Eagles. Chang, beautiful line out, finds Burnett.
Yes, that was a beautiful throw from Brian Chang there to feed the Zimbabwean line out. And they're looking to drive the maul, so far progressing quite slowly because of the Zambians' staunch defense.
Still moving forward. Eventually it does come to a halt. A referee waves for the ball. And a full-arm penalty. Offside are the Eagles. So from here, do we look to LT for the three-pointer? He's looking to the corner flag. So Sables want to have a second go. And we'll see how that goes for them.
Yes, the Sables and Pete do favour that line-out option simply because of the size that they possess with the likes of Aiden Burnett, Big Dave, Jeff McCorney. These are seasoned veterans for the squad and obviously looking to capitalise on this opportunity. Another great throw from Brian Chang. Aiden Burnett collects it and unfortunately the maul collapses. Penalty advantage to the Sables. Hilton passes it to Tapio Malenga. LT gives it to Thais. Brian Makwasha. Long ball to Trevor Gure. Trevor Gure with a step. Defend. And gets tackled. Hilton. Clean ball to Aiden Burnett. And Burnett is on the ground. Player slow down. Brian Chang. Great run through. LT looking to take the ball outside. Tapio Malenga sees that the defense is cutting in, so he decides to take the ball himself. Penalty advantage not there. And unfortunately, Hilton takes the quick tap but doesn't seem to have capitalized. I think the ref will liaise. The game seems to be picking up its action back up after that injury on Thaddeus, isn't it?
Oh, straight away. What an onslaught of attacks from the Sables. The Eagles holding firm. They did commit a couple of penalties through those string of phases. However, the Sables playing no games, hard running lines. We're seeing Aiden Burnett really charge in here. Brian Chang with a good bursting run, almost squeezed through, but it was just put down.
It's a very impressive defensive effort as well from the Zambian side. They're not looking to give an inch to the Zimbabweans. So far, unsuccessful with the 7 points on the board, but it's only one try and one kick, so the game is still on for anyone to take it.
So set piece for the Sables. Right on the edge of the 5 meter. They'll need to strike from here. You can see Mudariki with the scrum half. He has Malenga to his right. He's looking for a crash ball. Tambuera behind him, the number 10 jersey. Kumalo to his right of Malenga. And the set piece play here. Campbell, you've been in this setup. What are the Sables looking to do here? Will it be a Malenga crash or will it move out the back for Tambuera?
As you can see, the space is far out on the right. So what might end up happening is one phase hit through the middle, through Tapio Malenga, and then they go wide immediately after that, or they just do an immediate ghost line behind the back, probably to Makwasha. And it looks like it's Aiden who decides to take the first phase through. Looks like the Sables are opting to pick and drive. Aiden Burnett picking the ball, passing it to, I believe that's Jeff Makoni. Aiden Burnett really putting in a shift today. I must say I'm quite impressed with Aiden Burnett. He has been putting in a hard shift this morning.
The pick and goes from the Sables, keeping it close. It's Mudariki with the snipe who's brought down. Still pushing forward, Sables. Close quarters, here's handoff, and that will be enough for the second try of the Sables, number 3. Oh, buddy.
No, you know what, that was excellent performance there from the Sables. They used the big boys, Aiden Burnett, Jeff McCorn, they all go in to actually help the final man who scores the try for the Sables.
Bornwell Gwinji with the bounding run. He makes that Zambia number 13 chew his hand. And while you're at it, let me dot the ball down. And it was unfortunate that Botemwe Kuloko from Zambia misplaced. You know, big boys running around, and the back line's always told to stay around the fringes, let the forwards do all the dirty work. And with that is Tambuera, who adds the extra complimentary 2 points. So the Sables go up 14 points to 3.
So Bornwell Gwinji, he went to Milton Boys, and he's quite a big lad, 122 kgs. And he just flew in from Spain to try and stop this Zambezi challenge onslaught from our neighbours across the border.
Obviously playing for a national pride here, so Gwinji deeming it necessary to fly back from Spain. We have a couple of players who are playing overseas. Brian Chang from Lomigandi, he's at Manchester University. Dave Makamba, who is now old Hararians, but also another player overseas is Shingirai Kachere, who's come back from France after 2 years of being overseas.
Yes, Shingi's come back with a mission, essentially to take this country back to where it belongs on the world stage, to show that Zimbabweans have that fighting spirit.
Rogers Mukupa again, the number 8 with a bounding run, the try scorer for the, not the try scorer, my bad, but he had a bounding run. The Zambians move down the right side, keeping it going forward again. Mulenga out for the skipper for the fly half, number 6 with a good run. Again, Mulenga goes back to the blind side. Oh, sit down. Dave Nakamba goes down after a good strong run from Vincent Nkole. However, ball turned over by the Sables. Straight away, Tambera clears into the half and not into touch. Straight through the line. Oh, Chang grabs him. He's able to bring him down, and the Zambians continue their onslaught. Mulenga finds again for the number 10, Lukwesa. Oh,
that is a great tackle there by Guashu. The Zimbabwean defense holding strong. Big hits through and through. Ref points out the ball went backwards. Guashu with another hit, not giving the Zambians an inch. Dummy ball through. Dion Kumalo with the tackle, trying to steal the ball. Dion Kumalo, the young man, turns over the ball. Great tackle. Releases the player and goes for the ball. Basic rugby, but the fundamentals is what gets you successful possessions like this.
You can tell that's why he was named vice skipper, showing example for his team. Zimbabwe really needed something to break, because Zambia were on a rampage and scourging towards that try line of the Sables, and it was Kumalo who swooped in and prevented any loss.
I have to say I've been quite impressed with Dion Kumalo since I've been in the setup. Essentially, he is an African champion. Won the Africa Cup last year with the side. He is only 22 years of age, so he's already gained and amassed so much knowledge and experience, and looking to bring it to this fixture today. Another great throw in from Brian Chang. Burnett passes it to LT. LT with a high hanging kick, and Guashu's there to try and get it. It's anyone's ball. Lands into the hands of Zambia, which they decide to chip and chase into the hands of Ryan Musumi, but unfortunately fumbles it a little bit. Manages to stay steady.
Jason Tole from Zambia applying the pressure to Musumi and being pushed out into the touchline. It was Mudariki caught in a precarious position. The Eagles try and start the game quickly, but my oh my, Jason Tole, the fullback who started that encounter with a chip and chase, saw a bit of space. Musumi put under pressure. And as the Eagles have done themselves very well to fight back right up to the 5-meter line of the Sables.
So we have a line out. It'll be the Zambians with the ball, looking to capitalize. Now they have a 5-man line out. Looks like they'll be looking maybe to go through the middle. Another great hit from Brian Chang. He is currently with Manchester University, and they recently won their championship that side. And obviously, and great hit from the captain, my captain, Hilton Mudariki. And obviously the Zambians not happy with that. Unfortunately, struggling to accept the physicality of the game. It was a plain and simple hit from Hilton Mudariki out into touch. And unfortunately, the Zambian player's body has given out. He is on the sideline, aching. You know, this game of rugby, it really takes a man to play.
Yep, it was a big shoulder put in, and obviously a try-saving tackle as well. And as the Zambian player gets a little bit of attention, we'll see how he fares. Maybe he'll make it back to his feet. Probably got a gnarly bruise, and he does do so. And he's got a bit of a hip in his step.
So Hilton, following the good old saying, hit him hard, hit him clean, and the ref has no option but to award the line out to the Zimbabwean side.
Alex Mrewa in the 14 jersey went down, is back up to his feet. Chang again going.
Great reception there from Brian Yaude. Ball gets to Aiden Burnett. Unfortunately, the Zambian side were caught lacking offside. Composure from the captain, Hilton, with years of experience. Now, Hilton's story is a long one. He is the captain of this national side, looking to take us to another African Cup victory. Hilton has played for the national side for over a decade, having played for the University of Johannesburg, also played overseas in the UK. He has amassed a wealth of knowledge, has played with the likes of Ronald Brown, who is the number 10 for the Springbok 7 side, as well as a few notable names. Hilton Mudariki clearly keeping his boys composed in this matchup.
And now it looks like just a bit of a water break, as obviously a hot day. We don't want any faintings or dehydrated players, and so safety first. And as the boys, as these lads, men rather, quench up, it'll be time to re-strategize and re-familiarize themselves with the strategies and structures of their gameplay.
So for Zimbabwe, Sables leading the charge 14 to Zambia's 3 points off that one penalty that they kicked. It is a very beautiful day today. The Zimbabwean fans are out singing war cries. and a moment for the lads to take respite from this physical matchup. We've already seen one man go down, Thaddeus Zandiwanira.
Right, after a quick water break, players about to resume. We'll go back to the line out.
A bit of a cheekiness from the Zambia number 6, that is Nkoma Chisanga, and the Zimbabwean fans giving a bit of stick. Now Brian Chang's line-out throws have been exquisite.
Yep, he has done so far. The youngster, the 22-year-old. Looking to go again.
Another phenomenal throw from Brian Chang, and gets the ball clean to LT, who looks to hang the ball very high. The boys from Zambia under serious pressure from the Zimbabwean side.
So Zambia going the charge again. It's Lesa, the hookup. Mulenga finds out.
In moments like this, you have to appreciate a player like Brian Chang. But here is Ryan Musumi looking to counter-attack. Ball goes to Trevor Gure, makes the step cut back inside, and is tackled by the Zambians. Hilton will look to give a clean ball, but unfortunately the ref calls a knock-on. But the Zimbabweans at an advantage, so the ref will take the ball back, and it'll be a Zimbabwean penalty.
What an intense game we've had on our hands so far. Both sides going toe-to-toe, bar for bar, hit for hit.
As the youngsters would say, we can go band for band, we can go M for M. Literally, Zimbabwe showing that they're ready to go toe-to-toe with the Zambians.
But now a set-piece opportunity for the Sables. And it'll be Mudariki feeding all. Bennett look to pick up the ball, does do so. However, for Mulenga again. However, pass deemed forward. And so the Eagles will be happy with that result. And they get a scrum in the middle of the field, just inside their 10-meter.
Yeah, the Zambians making sure that there was no way through. They literally shut the gate for the Zimbabwean attack. And as you said, this resulted in a scrum.
Musumi under the high ball, happy to take it easily. He has to get around a couple of people, darts down the middle. He's able to get around a couple of Zambian players who drive him back. Moving forward again, more called by referee.
The Zimbabweans have open space on the right. Dion Kumalo looks set to give it to Tapua Malenga. Will he pass it? Oh, unfortunately, they knock it on. And it'll be the Zambians counter-attacking. Guashu saves the day with the tackle into touch. Very exciting run of play. Dion Kumalo. Can I say something about this young man? Dion Kumalo is the next big thing in Zimbabwe. This young 22-year-old centre has shown us that he might be the best player on this side with his blistering tackles and runs. God, what do you think of DK?
He's an outstanding game so far. In fact, both the youngsters, Chang and Kumalo, are both a part of the under-20 setup who worked with Sean D'Souza, who had the curtain raiser match a little bit early on this afternoon. But both of them having an absolute phenomenal match again.
Zimbabwe with the slew of talent at their disposal. they still have Shingi Kachere waiting in the wings. So essentially in the centers, I think they are feeling comfortable.
Mulenga picks out the ball. He finds Mwashi, who's running hard, is brought down.
Guashu with another hit. Guashu has been making countless tackles, can't even keep a number to that. Ball goes to DK. Unfortunately, looks to be a bit of confusion. The ball is in the Zimbabwean captain's hands, Hilton Mudariki. I believe the officials will liaise on the current foul play, apparently, that they're looking into. So, do you think there was foul play there?
Well, I'm not sure if I had seen anything specific. I was following where the ball had gone, but assistant referee deemed something important enough for the referee to maybe talk about, and a bit of stop time here. But it will be frustrating for the players. We had a couple of breaks, a water break, a break for Thaddeus, who unfortunately was injured. Now this break, we want to see a bit of momentum. I'm sure they want to get the game going, and they want to keep moving in their strides, both sides, the Sables and the Eagles. We'll appreciate
on the other side, it has been quite a physical matchup, and these breaks, as a player I recall, can really help you refocus, and especially with the Zimbabwean side in the Zambian half. Right now, as you can see, Linians Tambera and Hilton talking about their game plan, their strategy, the way they're going to attack and utilize this opportunity right now. Linians Tambera will look to get the ball as close to the 5 meter as possible, achieves that goal, and we will have Brian Chang throwing the ball again. I must say I've been quite impressed with the young man who's playing in Manchester currently. Crisp delivery of the ball, and obviously Zimbabwe's in good hands with a young man like this. Another clean throw to Aiden Burnett, and they're looking to maul it into the Zambian try line. Ball goes to Big Dave Nakamba, and then to Hilton Mudariki, who gets the ball and capitalizes with the try. Captain goes and dots down. It all starts from Brian Chang. His clean delivery of the ball allows Zimbabwe to obviously keep possession and maintain that momentum you're talking about. But obviously Zimbabwe fortunate in that situation, because the ball did just sort of bounce around after Big Dave Nakamba knocked it backwards.
Well, very fortunate bounce for Mudariki and for the Sables as he gets onto the board, and so the score moves to 21 points to 3, so 3 unanswered tries from the Zambians. There is worried looks on the Zambian bench, and they will have to find some way to bring back the game.
So we will have Redson Lukwesa with the restart for Zambia, looking to at least get back into the match. It's 21 to 3 currently, as Hilton Mudariki kicks it out. Not the most distant kick, but fair enough to obviously keep the Zimbabwean side composed.
So now Zambia in a punching opportunity here, just outside the 22 of the Sables. They will need to walk away with points here, whether it's 3, 5, or 7. Something needs to come from this set piece. It is Lawrence Lesa with the ball, the number 2. And what will they do here? 2-man or 6-man line out. 6 ball rather, and they go for 6 ball, which has been fumbled, but Mulenga grabs onto it. Chang disrupts the pass, but the referee deemed he was offside, and it broke too early from the line out. So straight away, Lukwesa looks to go to the corner again.
A very good kick there from Lukwesa, giving the Zambians the advantage right near the Sables 5-meter line.
Lessa again will be looking for a bit of charm in his approach. Oh, the lineout's been read by the Sables. Chang has the ball, finds his partner in crime, ripped away by the Zambians. Mwashi crashes into contact. Mulenga digs for the ball, looking for Lessa's running a hard line out the back pass for the flanker who has been brought down for Songe.
That is a great tackle by Jeff Makoni. The Zimbabwean defense standing strong. Tapiwa Malenga chopping the legs of the Zambian forward.
Nkole with that bounding run finds Lessa again.
Great hands from the Zambian side.
And against the Sables, who keep holding on, scraping by the hairs on their teeth, but the Zambians struggling to penetrate that line.
That is a big hit from Tapiwa Malenga. Another hit. Jeff Makoni and Gwashu double teaming the Zambian forward. Big Dave. A lot of double teams coming from the Sables. And Zambia finding it quite difficult to penetrate the green and white wall. Goes to Lakwesa. Lakwesa opts to dummy. Gets tackled by Brian Chang.
Zambia now resetting, obviously looking for that strategy of going close contact to suck in the Sables, but just not able to spread the ball wide enough. So Mulenga
and Zambia has the penalty advantage. Will they look to do a cross kick here? Doesn't look like they're aware of the space on the outside currently, and there's no communication. Oh, and Luquesa goes for the drop goal, and he misses, unfortunately. But because they have the penalty advantage, that is why he opted for that. Great idea, to be honest, to put points on the board, because you need to chip away at that 18-point difference. But unfortunately for him, it didn't go through. They retained the possession, and we'll see what they decide, whether a scrum or a line out with the kicking option.
Yeah, great option from Luquesa. Nothing was really happening for the Zambians. They weren't gaining any ground. They couldn't spread the ball wide. So next option was to go for the drop. And he was able to do so because they had advantage. So there was no harm done with the fact that he had missed it. But again, a bit more stop time.
As much as the game has had a lot of drama, it's been quite the turnout from the Zimbabwean fans, hasn't it? Crowds very in a very good mood, especially after the under-20 victory, and looking to literally take both games today with the senior side.
You're right. What a time to be a Sable supporter. Currently leading by 18 points. Will that be changed? And it's try time for the Zambians. Just as I was saying, nothing much was happening for them. They're able to burst through and score the first try.
Yes, and that would be Gift Kabungo, who has dotted down, I believe that is the number 3, the big man, who has gone in. Too massive, too big. Zimbabwean side couldn't stop his mass from going over the gain line.
Well, the first try for the Zambians. What's important is that the Sables don't panic. They still have a very decent lead. If he's able to rinse this kick, it will be an 11-point lead. But as Luquesa, who lines up his kick, Musumi gets charged. And he remains calm and composed. So he rinses the 3. So 21 points to 11, 10-point deficit. And still a 2-try game before the Sables.
Yes, the game, when it's competitive like this, becomes very exciting. Just a 10-point difference currently, 11 points, sorry, because it's 21-10. I believe the kick, the penalty, and the kick with the conversion gets them up to 10. We will obviously see how that keeps going for them. But the Zambian lads showing great intent in this game.
So knocked on by the Sables on that challenge in the air after kickoff. Looking to kick it very shallow, win the ball back, get good territory. And not sending it deep into the Zambian half.
Big shove, come on!
Now looking at that Zambian side, we've obviously watched a good amount of rugby now. Campbell, looking at the game so far, what do you think the Zambians have done well in this game so far?
They've managed to basically handle and absorb the pressure that the Sables have been putting on them. And can I say, it has been a lot of pressure with the likes of Hilton Mudariki, Aiden Burnett, Dion Kumalo, literally giving you no chance to win. Essentially, they have managed to stay in this game by just 11 points.
I think you're right. Also, just the ability to string phase after phase after phase after phase is just clinical work. Yes, sometimes they don't gain much ground, but the fact that they're able to bang away for that long is very significant. And Lukwesa hoping to get it into at least the Sables half. Skews the kick, but it does find touch, so they go from one end to another.
It's not a bad position to be in on the field. But unfortunately for them, it'll be going to the hands of Brian Chang, who has got 100% throw rate at this moment, and I don't look to see that he's going to stop that at any moment. Brian Chang with the ball, getting ready to throw it in. Another crisp ball through, but Brian Yaude unfortunately fumbles it in the air. Hilton Mariki tries to get it down. Oh, it was the Zambians who knocked it from Brian Yaude's hands, and the ref spotted that well. We were a bit too far to see that ourselves. So it'll be Zimbabwean ball right at the edge on the 15 on the halfway line. Now in a situation like this, I believe Pete would advise the players to attack the space. So you will see likely the ball going to the back to Makwasha, who might connect with the Musumi, and the pace with Trevor Guru on the end will likely be the option to finish.
Yeah, I want to see a Guru with a good space and opportunity. There's space here. Makwasha, as you were saying, finds Guru with a bit of space, darting down the right side, has to get past one. Inside ball for Musumi, who's in trouble, looking to keep the ball in play, loses the possession. And the Eagles now look to slow down the game. Lukwesa will do the duties of clearing the ball, but rather skies it. And it is Tambuera with the ball. Kumalo on the left wide. Has to get past. Oh, he sits him down. A couple of steps and a bit of a throw. Kumalo still going. Is eventually brought down.
Like we said, Dion Kumalo is proving himself maybe to the best player on this field. What a fend off. He said, sit down, do not come to me because I am the man, essentially. And Zimbabwe with the advantage. Ryan Musumi goes into score and throws the ball in the air. This is exciting stuff from the Sables.
Tapiwa Malenga with the inside pass, no look, sent the Zambians looking in the other direction. Ryan Musumi running his line. He strolled through to the try line in Zimbabwe, score their fourth, and look heftily down at that Zambezi Challenge Cup trophy.
It is the man, Ryan Musumi, who came in for, unfortunately, our injured Thaddeus Dandiwanira. And he scores. I'm sure that'll be a bolster of confidence for him. As you can see, the Zimbabwean side has a lot of pace on the outside, and essentially we can look to a lot of exciting rugby. So, can I ask you, what do you think of Dion Kumalo personally? Because I've been quite impressed with this young man. I do not see myself, I've played against the likes of Dialendi, Jesse Creel, back in my playing days, and he reminds me of that Molde. Big legs, big arms, big fin, and you cannot literally compete with him because he's unstoppable as a force.
Yeah, he has had a very good supporting role, creating opportunities. That jackal he had in the first half, which has stopped a try being scored from Zambia. He's been phenomenal. But with that try, it brings us to halftime. The Sables lead very comfortably, 28 points to 10. And the Zambians have a lot to think about as the Sables stroll out in front very comfortably.
As we can see, literally the back line for the Sables seems to be the advantage that they have against Zambia. The forwards seem to be quite evenly matched, but obviously the game is still anyone's to take. The Sables will feel comfortable where they are right now, 28 to 10 at the half.
Mulenga, who has been solid in that 9 position. He's been able to find his runners. And looking to his left, looking very ominous in the number 12 jersey is Mwashi. Pick and go from the 8th man, number 17. Mutembo is brought down. Lukwesa all the way around. A lot of space here.
Great pass from Lukwesa to his winger. And he's got a bit of pace, but he hands off Daryl Makwasha. And Daryl Makwasha says, no, you don't. Get back over here.
Very good run from the Zambians, able to get themselves a good 20, 30 meters odd.
Brian Chang with a great tackle, chopping the legs.
Nkole meets Chang again as those two go head to head for a second time. Number 7, Mutembo, picks it up, pick and goes. Quick ball from Mulenga, not the best of passes. Oh, and the frustration from the Zambian side, not really allowing themselves to pick up and build momentum as they did in the first half.
Fortunately for them, they did have the penalty advantage, so they will retain possession with an option to kick for poles or to go for touch. Myself, I would rather just go for poles because it's straight in the middle and you can cut the lead to 15 points.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Campbell. It's been a brutal game. There have been some hard hits, and I think you need something from your 10 just to keep the scoreboard ticking. That's what coaches will always say, just keep the scoreboard ticking. And there's Mwewa who will look to do so. Obviously, here your advice, Campbell.
Yes, seems like the Zambians really are playing an intelligent game. Though the scoreboard is not to their advantage, they've had a great showing this afternoon. Unfortunately, the decision was not met by execution. Misses it to the left, way left actually, and I believe Livingston will look to kick the 22 as far back into the Zambian half as possible. LT with the high hanging kick. What a fantastic kick from Livingston, sending it to the Zambian 22. Can they match the same level of leg day as LT? And unfortunately they can't, so they can only get it back to the halfway. LT has gained a good 30 meters for the Zimbabwean side with that drop kick.
Yeah, it's been a good kicking contest between the two fly-halves. And Tambuera is firmly in the lead here. He's had a good game off the boot.
I'm so impressed with Brian Chang's throwing from the lineouts. Ball goes to Burnett. Burnett should probably think to offload to Dion Kumalo, but decides to go in himself. LT with the long pass to Ryan Musumi. Yes, exciting run of play from the boys to Trevor Gure with the cut back inside. Hilton at the breakdown looking to give the ball to Bornwell. Greenji gets hit right on the gain line. Ball to LT. LT to Aiden Burnett. Aiden Burnett stays on the feet with the ball to Dave Makamba. I believe they should look to pass the ball to the outside a bit more so that the run of play keeps moving. John Kamala gets the ball to Makwasha. Makwasha gets in. Big hit from the Zambian side. And unfortunately, the tackler seems to be down for the count. What a physical game it has been.
Yeah, Mutembo just going down there, and second injury we've seen. And not looking too good. Looks like a bit of water poured in his face, so might be a bit of blood nose involved in there as well.
So Mutembo, obviously, having come in from the bench, is on the ground right now, just clearly showing how physical this game has been. A true test match, a true challenge for the Zambezi. And us as the fans and the commentators are thoroughly entertained and so grateful for these boys putting on this display. LT decides to opt for the kick, manages to gain good yards, just short of the 5 meter line. I am sure the Zimbabwean pack will look to maul this through Big Dave Makamba, Brian Yaude Ghost, Aidan Burnett, Bornwell, Gwinji, Guashu, Jeff McConey, such big names, such big players. Brian Yaude with a clean reception from Brian Chang, and they're gaining momentum into the Zambian 5 meter. The fans starting to stand up as the ref awards the try. I believe it is the veteran Aidan Burnett who goes over the try. Now, Aidan Burnett is, I believe, one of the few St. John's alumni in this squad looking to take our country back to the World Cup. Aidan Burnett represented Zimbabwe at under 18 Craven Week, and since then has never stopped, never looked back, and we are more grateful for his efforts today, and he has gone in for that try. What do you think of Aidan Burnett's play today so far?
Yeah, he's been a strong carrier, bold with the ball, taking the fight to them. He's been putting in a big shift, and he is fighting and putting his body on the line. And Tambuera, who hasn't missed today, adds the extra 2. So the score goes now 35 points to 10, and Tambuera not missing off the boot so far.
I have to say the Zimbabwean side has been crisp in their execution. I can't see that they've made too many mistakes this game. What would you say about that?
Maybe every now and then a couple of handling errors, but otherwise their structure of play, the way they're playing, has been fluid and they've been clinical. 5 tries in the game thus far. So Malenga finds Mushumi with a big hoof down the turf. And hiding in that back pocket was Kapelele, or rather Tole, who is eventually brought down just inside the half of the Sables. Lesa has ball, crunches down Mulenga. Looking again down the left side, a couple of dummies from Kapelele, nothing availing to it. Moving forward again, the Eagles, penalty advantage, offsides. Bouncing ball, opportunity, still moving forward, and referee.
Advantage, says the referee. The Zambians not hearing the whistle, but they will have to come back nonetheless.
Yeah, most frustrating play as a rugby player is a continuing play when you haven't heard the whistle. You think you're away with the money, and you just hear your teammates bring you back to reality.
This is true. One should never waste energy, and unfortunately, if you don't hear the whistle, you'll find yourself in that predicament.
So we're seeing lots of good ball movement from the Eagles, and they can really string up 10 plus phases quite easily. However, the one downside to being able to play 10 phases back to back is the gain line progression. They very rarely gain lots of possession. It takes a couple of phases, 10 plus, for them to be able to gain ground. However, they still do gain the ground, or maybe just looking to wear down the opponents and get a penalty.
This has been a very entertaining fixture so far. Now, as the Zambians are in the half, if they score this, it will make it a very interesting game. The Zimbabwean pack of Jeff McCorney and Bornwell Gwinji has withstood the Zambian onslaught every time, but can they capitalize on this one? As they go through the middle, I believe they're looking to take it out wide. He kicks it. Manages to grab her while he was obviously dropping the ball, but still ball goes back to the Sables. Hilton Mariki throws it back to LT. LT with the massive kick.
chasing after the ball is Kapelele, who eventually gets there. He has a lot of
So
work
the
to do.
Zambian, number 11, decides to run. What do you think of that, eh?
Yeah, I probably should have kicked it because now his teammates have to get back into line. Mulenge has to wait for them to reset and reform, but eventually we'll give the ball over for Tole, who's looking for touch, and that is a well-placed kick just to ease the pressure off the Zambian Eagles. So no harm done from not kicking the ball, but it could have been very dangerous if not handled correctly.
I don't know yet. You can't say no harm if the Zimbabweans haven't started their play yet, because the number 11 from the Zambian side did have an opportunity, lots of space just to send it back. But unfortunately, they've only gained about 29 meters from that kick, whereas if you utilize your space, you can gain a lot more. So now you have the Zimbabwean side looking to actually capitalize from the middle. Alinian Stimbwera is discussing with Dion Kumalo and Tapio Malinga. So I believe the run of play will go through the centers.
You can just see there on the field, Kapelele from Zambia, a little bit slow to get up, and you can see that the size difference is catching up to the Zambians. They're really feeling it now. We've seen a couple of players go down. He's the third player we've seen go down and take a minute or two to get up.
Brian Yauda with a fantastic reception. Aidan Burnett is blistering through. LT passes it to Ryan Musumi. Musumi gets the ball to Ryan Makwasha. Makwasha steps back inside. There's an onslaught of defenders coming from Zambia. Hilton Mudariki passes it. The Zimbabwean attack is on fire at the moment. Tapio Malenga steps, gives a handoff, two handoffs. Brian Chang with a pass to Aidan Burnett. Can he go over? The Zambian defense desperately trying to stop the Zimbabweans. And it is Brian Yaude who dots it down for Zimbabwe. At the end, the Zimbabwean attack proving too much for Zambia. What do you think of that run of play from Zimbabwe?
Oh, the quick ball from Mudariki just didn't allow the Zambians to reset. Zimbabweans, the Sables, so quick to set up, so quick at their passing, so fluid that the Eagles couldn't even see it coming. And eventually they would concede a try. The sixth one of the game, to be more specific. And if we're going off Tambura's success this afternoon, I'm sure he'll be looking to go 6 from 6.
So now what you have is Brian Yaude, who just dotted it down. Brian Yaude, nicknamed Ghost. As you can see, the Zambian defense could not see him because he's literally walked into that line as a ghost. He recently won the MVP for the Nedbank Cup, led along with Aidan Burnett and Hilton Mudariki to the Nedbank Cup final as they are champions, both in Harare and Africa. The boot of Linian Stimbwera proving ever to be so reliable, slots it in again to make that scoreboard far out of reach for the Zambians.
42-10, 6 from 6. Tambura having an absolute pearl of a game off the left boot of his. And so for the Zambians, it's back to the beginning, back to the building blocks, back to kicking off again.
That's a great take from the Zambian number 17. Zambia clearly not giving up as they look to score their second try of the game.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hard for the Zambians to really find some sort of rhythm in this game. 42 points to 10, it's a 32-point deficit. And there are not many options from here. Or they go to the corner. I think you have to. The time for going for the threes is over.
So I believe we've just had a send-off. Number 19 has been sent off for a cynical play. So maybe this is the chance for Zambia to capitalize as the Sables are now outnumbered.
It's now or never. And as Lesser looks to throw his own line out to his teammates, it'll be crucial for them to get things right.
So unfortunately, Kundishora has gotten himself sent off after just coming on. He must be disappointed with his decision making there, but hopefully the lads from Zimbabwe can still withstand the entire remainder of the game.
Mutembo with a good pick and go is brought down. Zambia, Mulenga finds the ball, looking for less on hard run, screen play. Tole over the top for Kapelele. Kapelele, let's get past Musumi. Gets past Musumi. Will he go to the corner? And he does go to the corner. And maybe Musumi just coming off his line too quickly. And a quick little step from the outside means that Kapelele can stroll over onto the try line.
Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, Ryan Musumi misses that tackle, and Zambia makes them pay for it. Could we have a game here? I do believe that Zambia, with their fighting spirit, I do believe that Zambia are looking to win this game still, even though the score is far out of reach seemingly. But you never know with the rugby gods having sent off Kundishora, our number 19.
Well, I'm not really sure if it's a question of rugby gods. I think it's just rugby at this point. 42 points to 15. I'm not sure how involved the gods are at this point. It's just skill and execution, which at the moment the Sables are doing it very well. But that try from Zambia puts them, at least give them a little bit of hope. And it is Kasitu Kapelele.
I do like how he's been playing today. LT with the high hanging drop kick. Great reception from Zambia at the kickoff. Hilton Mulariki looking to take the man down, but he has leg drive for days and he manages to gain some yards.
Quick ball from Mulenga. Finds Nkole again. Nkole has been a tremendous carrier for the Zambians. Mulenga finds Nkole.
The ref gives the penalty advantage as he sees Jeff McCorney offside. Ball lands safely. Chip and chase. Ball to Makwasha. Advantage not over. And the ref will send it back to the spot where Jeff McCorney was caught lacking offside.
So after the penalty advantage, it is Alex Mwea who will kick the ball into touch and put the Eagles into the 22-meter territory of the Sables.
Now, Jeff McCorney is an impressive rugby player. Unfortunately, he was caught offside there, but just a little bit on Jeff. He's from the Lowveld, went to primary school in Hippo Valley, was in the Zimbabwe under-16 Grand Cornwall Week side in 2013, represented Zimbabwe under-18 Craven Week as a lower six, and has never stopped trying to bring this badge to the heights it's supposed to be at. So it looks like there's quite a bit of breakage in play currently, which has allowed the Zimbabwean fans to stand up and start cheering for their home side. It's quite a good turnout today. I've seen quite the crowds in rugby before, but this is truly a spectacle.
It truly is, as Mutembo, eighth man pickup, has to find Mulenga. Mulenga takes a bit of time to dig up the ball, but eventually does do so. The ball goes down to the right side.
That's a
again,
great
reserves.
tackle. Great tackle there from Linus Tambuera. The Zambians seemingly playing a lot better with the one-man advantage. Unfortunately, Aiden Burnett and that number... And they've chosen violence this afternoon. Unfortunately, you never like to see that, but I do believe the linesman should have been in control of that. Letting that continue is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, as we had seen, you know, as we had seen, obviously high emotions, high tensions, and Zambia, I think, a little bit frustrated with themselves. They haven't been able to do as well as they had hoped. And the linesman and the referee having a conversation. Will this be upgraded to a booking? And so Aiden Burnett and Lawrence Lesser have been called up to the headmaster's office, and they'll be hearing, and they'll have a disciplinary hearing. And in a turn of events, it's actually Aiden Burnett. It is Aiden Burnett who is sent to the bin for a yellow card. So Zimbabwe go down by 2 players. And 13 versus 15 here.
So it looks like the Zambian size has been downsized to 13 men. We are playing a game of rugby with only 27 men, as Zimbabwe also has a yellow card.
Zambia crashing the ball forward. The Sables holding strong. Mulenga digging for the ball, finds Mutembo, who's been putting in a big shift.
This is proving to be quite the matchup.
2 yellow cards. Now is the time to strike. Mulenga appeals to the ref for a penalty. Still moving forward. Mulenga ushering the forwards as they keep crashing forward, inching towards the try line. When will it break? Mulenga looks to send the ball wide. Ntole can't hold on to it. The number 13, Musumi, gets in the way of the pass, bouncing around, picked up by the Zambians. However, the referee brings back play for the knock-on.
It was a knock, unfortunately, for the Zambian side. And all that great progress they made is halted by an unfortunate mistake. The Zimbabwean defense has held quite strong today. The likes of Guashu, Brian Chang, Aiden Burnett, they have been bringing in big tackles, and it has shown by the injuries that have been inflicted on this field.
Yep, rugby is it's a tough sport. And the conditioning, you got to be able to take a couple of bumps and bruises. And Zambia have done well to absorb those bumps and bruises, but eventually it will catch up to them. But now as we see a substitute.
So before the game started, you asked me what I thought the score was going to be. What did I say? Do you remember?
I think it was 42-16.
It was 46-15. Not quite there, but it seemingly is. What would you say? The Sables have this in the bag, or do you think Zambia still has a chance?
Look, I think the Sables have been playing very well to now try and close the gap of 20-odd points against the Sables team with not that much time left. I think it will be a task too impossible. However, they can still walk away with a try or two with this one-man overlap. But on to the park, it is Shingirai Kasere, who's on debut, the man overseas, who has been called back into the lineup as he replaces Daryl Makwasha. Mudariki finds Malenga, strong charge into the 22, into the faces of the Zambians.
Now, like you said, Shingi Kachere is on the field. He is chasing the ball that has been kicked by LT, and that is an amazing kick by Lenius Tambwera. Lenius Tambwera is a beast with the boot, the leg day. Shingi Kachere with the chase, with the pressure. Even though the ball did go out, Shingi Kachere did not give room for the Zambians to even try counter-attack. That is brilliant from the Zimbabweans, giving hope as the fans are standing up. I believe this victory, as you said, is pretty much assured.
Yeah, a great kicker from Lenius Tambwera, going from the 22, from the Sables 22 into the Zambian 22. So 50-22, almost coastline to coastline. He will be very happy with that kick. The Sables will be very happy with that kick, and a pressure release up for the Sables. But now we look again down to the far side of the field. It is another player from the Zambian side who has taken a knock and is not getting up.
So it looks like Zimbabwe has put Shingi into coming on the wing, which is a scary sight if you're the opposition, because that man is the centre.
What a great day we had of rugby so far. We had the under 20 Sables take on the Sharks Academy, winning an enthralling match, 46 points to 39 earlier on, and now we're currently witnessing the Sables, the men's Sables, 42 points to 15, so well ahead in this match. But a great day of rugby all around, and very pleasant to watch.
You're absolutely right, and the Zimbabwean fans have so much to cheer for right now. They began their campaign this weekend at Queen of Hearts, where a former Springbok, JP Peterson, came, spoke to the lads. Also, you have to say the leadership of Pete Bernardi, firstly having led them to the Africa Cup Championship last year, and obviously continuing his winning form. This would make it 8 in a row for the Sables since last year. So the Zimbabwean fans might be in Australia in 2027.
Well, it's also been a great turnout here today at Harare Sports Club. The fans coming out in full voice to witness this match as they take on the Zambian Eagles for the coveted Zambezi Challenge Cup. And this year, it should be remaining on a Zimbabwean soil. So as Chang looks to throw in another line out, he is yet to miss. And
Brian Yauda with a great reception, and there goes the Sables more, looking to use the legs that God and those squats have given them. Brian Chang swings the ball to Malenga with the inside step, and the Zambian defense looking still strong even though they're down 2 men. Hilton Mariki passes the ball to the main man, Dion Kumalo. Dion Kumalo down, LT chips it through. Oh, that is chase down, Malenga down to Shingi Kachere. He gets his moment to show his shine. There's the boy from Borough Academy. Unfortunately, 3 men had to take him down, and one of them is still down. That is the strength of Shingi Kachere. Brian Yauda goes down from the tackle, swings the ball back to Ryan Musumi. The game is now exciting. Into Dion Kumalo's hands, steps back inside. The legend passes it to Hilton Mariki. Back to B-Mac. Brian Makamure goes in for the touchdown. That is great rugby from the Sables. Do you like that? Call your mama and tell her we're going to the World Cup.
Yeah, good linking, good passing, good finish. And despite being a man down, the Sables have been able to outplay the Eagles.
Yes, it was Brian Makamure who scored for the Sables. Opportune time to get the ball after blistering. Obviously, it started off with Shingi Kachere getting the ball out wide. They ran it back phase after phase. Hilton, quick on the ball. What I must say about Hilton is that ever since this year's campaign has started, he has raised his level of play, his fitness, clearly still in the game, the fittest player in the game, leading the charge for the Sables. I am so proud of these boys.
Well, with that try, it takes the points now, 49 to 15, and 7 converted tries. It is a murder on the rugby field.
Yes, we might have to help some players stay out of Chikurubi after this one, but essentially it is an onslaught. I think it is a positive onslaught though, because the Zimbabwean fans are cheering.
And a fair attempt there from the Zambian side. However, knocked on, so knocking advantage for the Sables as they look to steady themselves in the game. Tambuera with the ball with a good clearance.
LT's kicking is the most impressive. This guy is world class. If you knew LT, this guy was a head boy at Churchill Boys. Churchill Boys is a school that has lasted an entire century in this country. So the rich history he is bringing to the game, the hopes and dreams of all the Churchill Ord boys, he is literally delivering for all of us.
And a slight confusion from the Eagles.
The Zimbabwean fans getting excited, getting into the game. Of course, how can you not be excited when your team is performing like this? Unlucky, unfortunate with that reception.
Requesta from Zambia driving the ball forward, finds Mulenga. Mulenga down. He finds his number 6 who's charging in, Chisanga.
And the ball gets knocked down. So I do believe Tyrone Gombe has come onto the field to replace the captain, Hilton Mudariki. Tyrone, a little bit of history. I think he might be the youngest person on this team. He went to Gordons Bay Primary School, played for the under-13 Western Province, believe it or not, and Weinberg Boys High School. Also kept representing Western Province through the under-16 youth weeks, like the Grand Como and also the Craven Week at under-18 level. And now he's at UCT playing for the under-20 Varsity Cup side, and they were finalists in this year's competition. Now, essentially, people just call him Gombe, but I do think we need to find him a new nickname because this young man is impressive.
Well, quite the history there, and definitely steeped in good accreditation. Playing for Western Province, he will be a good asset for the Zimbabwe Sables.
So I believe Zimbabwe's back to having 15 men on the field. Wow, Zambia is still down 2. One might say this game is out of their hands and the gospel has been spoken by the rugby gods.
Bennett with a good carry into the 22, finds Gombe looking for Tambuera. That 15 needs to drop if he wants to make sure. However, Tambuera looking to keep it inside again. Will it be a 50-22?
Like I said, carrying the rich history of Churchill Boys is LT, Linians Tambuera. That kick is literally as good as his previous kick. It's amazing the consistency that this young man has since having been selected for the Sables in 2012. 13 years of great kicking, and finally I believe he can take us to the coveted World Cup appearance.
The Zambian winger just underestimating Tambwere, despite us seeing him kicking this whole match was a bit too shallow.
I don't know if you can call that underestimating. I think he wasn't estimating anything. He was just there. And Vuyani Lomo goes in for the try. Can you believe the leg day? He ran in there like he's been doing squats since a baby.
That was very nicely put, but Vuyani Lomo just powering his way through, nothing stopping him there. And the Zambians have been picked apart, the feathers unfluffed, and they will have to hobble back to Zambia with no Zambezi Challenge Cup under their belt this year.
It is amazing the way the Sables have brought the energy to the park. It is Vuyani Christopher Ndlomo who has scored. He is currently with the Old Georgians Rugby Club. He is a model of consistency, level-headed, composed, and within a few minutes of him being on the field, he has dotted down a try. As you can see, the Zimbabwean fans are excited. We have a lot to cheer for. Score is 56-15. And also, I believe Dean Panache is now on the field. Burnett coming in for the carry. What a great take from Aiden Burnett. Unfortunately, a cynical play from the Zambians. And I believe they're going to be down 12 men at this point. So the ref deciding to show a bit of mercy. You know, I believe he's a Christian and he might go to heaven for that choice, because that was a dangerous, dangerous play. Truly, Mr. Burnett is a force to be reckoned with. He just got up from that unfortunate, cynical play like nothing happened, showing the resilience that these St. John's boys can bring to the Zimbabwean squad.
And now we see a change in the hooker position. It's Vuyiswa Mpofu, also on debut, with a good line-out throw, finds Gombe. Gombe finds the try scorer, Dlomo. Gombe again, quick ball. Kumalo steaming onto it, charging hard. And Zimbabwe penalized. I think it was holding on to the ball, and the referee does the signal for holding on. And so Zambia yet again survive a good jackling. As Moya looks to ping them up the field again.
It truly has been an impressive showing. The scoreboard speaks, as they always say, numbers don't lie, and the numbers are saying 56-15. You have to say the energy with the crowd might be the reason why we have such a big gap in the scoreline. What do you think of the crowd's influence on the game?
Oh, the crowd have been phenomenal. They're also definitely not the friendliest people to the Zambian Eagles, but it is how the game works.
Yes, a bit of chirping is always a fun part of the game.
But crashing in there was Sikoona, who had a bounding run, still moving forward. The Zambians picking up their phases.
You have to admire the fighting spirit of the Zambians in this Zambezi challenge. Swinging the ball wide. Deciding the dummy goes to number 11. Shingi Kachere showing the value you add to this team. Tackling the man, letting go and going for the ball. And unfortunately for the Zambians, not letting go of the ball after the tackle have been penalized.
Yeah, Shingi Kachere, good form, jackling over. And he was unmoved in an attempt to clear him out. And Zambia yet again have to walk back further into their own territory.
I do believe that is the first unsuccessful kick by LT. The Zambians bringing the exciting brand of rugby, even though they're still short 2 or 3 men.
Kapalele was just brought down in the tackle and having no support with him. So unfortunately he will be blown for holding on to the ball.
To be honest, I can't imagine being on the Zambian side and enjoying myself very much right now. Essentially, imagine having a player like Dean Panache Makoni, who's flown in from Dubai Hurricanes at a stunning 122 kilos as well, and him being on the bench. It is scary to even think about. Now, Dean plays with a few of the UJ alumni like Martin Mangwiro. Very good university is that UJ, where Hilton also did his stint.
Offside from the Zambians, maybe a little bit too eager and jumping the gun.
The game seems to have gotten away from the Zambians, and now discipline is proving to be an issue for them.
Well, at the moment they're clawing at scraps, clawing for anything to try and at least get a couple more points before the game ends. And it's desperation from the Eagles side.
I have to say, Pete and the entire coaching staff has done a great job of preparing these lads. And Dion Kamala breaks through from a pass. Good does the goose step. And then he's going to offload to Burnett. Burnett's going to pass immediately. Ryan Musumi's going to swing it. No, he goes for himself and jots it down. They're going to get a liaison to tell them exactly what happened. I might have thought Ryan Musumi should go for the pass. He decides to go and back his pace because obviously I think he thought his girlfriend was still chasing him. But we will see the outcome.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of white line fever, but if the try is allowed, all is good. But in the corner he goes. And another try for Ryan Musumi, second of the day on debut. Almost had Shingi Katsere on his left. Decided to back himself and his Hot Wheels. And it's try time for the Sables referee. Looking to liaise with the captains, Burnett stepping up to the plate since the absence of Mudariki.
So unsure what the ref is deliberating. Seems like we said, the Zambians' discipline has dissipated ever so gradually, and it has been a penalty try that's been awarded. So it was a deliberate knockdown, and because of that, the referee has awarded the penalty try, automatic 7 points. Unfortunately, it looks like my guess was way off for that result, 46-15. The Sables have gone past the 60 mark. I tell you, I don't know how the Sables cannot go to the World Cup under the tutelage of Pete Bernardi. So now looking to scrum against the ever resilient front pack of Zambia, but unfortunately still down by a whopping 46 points. The performance today from the Sables has uplifted a nation, and I believe the hope to take us to Australia has increased.
It has been a dominant performance from the Sables. And how much more damage can they inflict as Malenga looks backwards for Tambuera, who finds Kachere. Kachere cuts back inside. Maybe should look for a pass, but is eventually brought down just inside their own half. Gombe down the right side again. Guashiri charges forward, and another one. It will be Tyrone Gombe on debut under the woodwork.
An outstanding performance from the Sables. Excuse me, I'm a bit speechless currently because the onslaught is endless. The fans are up. The joy and energy is ecstatic. I mean, what can you say about this game other than a masterclass? Pete and the entire nation should be proud of what the lads have done here today.
Great performance. Started off the half leading 28 points to 10.
It's kind of hard to do the math now, isn't it? Because the scoreboard keeps ticking and the fans keep standing. It is 70-15. And the Sables can walk away with an emphatic victory. My. Can we celebrate today? I bet you the fans of Zimbabwe, as known to their culture, will be drinking so much tonight in celebration of this victory.
70 points to 15. It was a clinical, crucial, pivotal game for the Sables to continue their 8-game unbeaten streak. And what a way to do it on home turf. Sports Club, Harare Sports Club, 70 points to 15. Hilton Mudariki, another one under his belt. Pete Bernardi, another W under his belt. Unfortunately, for the Zambian Eagles, it will be an embarrassment and a hard defeat to watch.
So imagine the score is 70-15 and the Sharks player Tino Blythe Mavesere is wearing a yellow bib, not even on the field. Tapio Mafura from the Lions in the VIP section enjoying himself. And I do believe it brings us great hope as a nation to finally appear in a World Cup after 3 decades of non-appearance. It's a momentous occasion. The Zambezi challenge is over. Zimbabwe's are the victors, 70 points to 15. And I thank you for inviting me to your booth. I do appreciate being here, and obviously, let's win the next one.
Well, that has been Cairo Sports Live. We've enjoyed it having you on the live stream. We witnessed a great day of rugby. The Junior Sables beating the Sharks Under 20 Academy 46 points to 39. And in this encounter now, the Zim Sables winning 70 points to 15. And we shall see you later. Hello.
We're just getting ready for the interview. Zambia first. You're with him?
So I got to confirm Lawrence Lesser.
Come again?
Lawrence
At the end of the day, we are members.
Come closer.
Somewhere there?
So good afternoon to all of those of you who are watching. I am joined by the captain of the Zambian Eagles, Ali Bika. Ali, first of all, how are you doing? It was a tough day on the park for you, but how are you doing?
Yeah, doing okay. The body's a little sore. It's a tough game, very physical. But all in all, we had a good game despite the unfortunate scoreline for us.
Yeah, a very unfortunate scoreline. But I just want to ask you, what do you think went wrong for the Zambian Eagles today? Because you started off quite strong, and then towards the end of the game, it ran away.
Look, clearly, we had a lot of cards in this game, both on the Zimbabwean and Zambian side. But unfortunately, I think our mistakes or errors cost us in numbers because we had a red card and several yellow cards. And, against a clinical team like Zimbabwe, they'll punish you for indiscipline.
And this won't be the only fixture that you'll play against the Sables this year. You also have a couple of home games. What will your preparation be for those home games?
Look, if you can't maintain your discipline, don't expect to get positive results. So clearly, we started strong. I think we had good physicality, but when we had the red card, it really cost us. So we're going to work on our discipline and try to be a little bit clinical throughout the game for 80 minutes.
And so, unfortunately, no Zambezi Challenge Cup for you this year, but obviously, hopefully next year you'll be able to get it. How important is winning this cup for you?
Well, it's important. I think Zimbabwe is one of our biggest rivals. There's a lot of history and there's a lot of respect between the countries, so it's a very important cup, and we're looking forward to doing better in the next encounter.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Ali Bika. I hope you're able to rest up your body and feel better in the morning. But that is the captain of the Zambian Eagles. Thank you very much. You have to ask Jason.
Hi, how are you doing? You well? Good, thanks.
How are you doing, Hilton?
Good, thanks. How are you doing? You well?
I'm not too bad, eh? Everybody wants to. Good afternoon to all of those of you who are joining in. I'm joined by Hilton Mudariki, the captain of the Zim men's Sable. Hilton, a very good result for the Sables today, winning 70 points to 15. How are you feeling after today's game?
Super happy. We wanted to come out and make a statement. Obviously, if you look back at last year and the way that we played, it wasn't the greatest of performances. So to come out here and make a performance, to put out a performance like that in front of our home crowd.
How important was it to win today and to continue the momentum and moving forward?
We know what's at the end of the tunnel, but we're just taking it one game at a time. So this was the first one, and to start the way that we did, we're super happy. We'll enjoy tonight, and then I look forward to the next week.
And coming up later on this year in June and July is obviously the Africa Cup. How are preparations coming in for that tournament?
Yeah, preps have been great. We started in January, and we've just been working right the way through. So this is the first head out for us. I think we've got a couple more test matches to go before we head out to Uganda.
And obviously, we won the the Zambezi Challenge Cup today. How are you feeling about that, especially on home turf and at the Rory Sports Club?
Yeah, super special. It's the rivalry is building. I think Coach Speed spoke about it in the week about how this rivalry is building up. So this is a special trophy for us, and we're just super happy to do it in front of our home fans. Nothing special than playing at home. We hardly get to play at home in the year, so to do that in front of these guys is super awesome.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Hilton. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night and are able to rest up your body.
Thank you very much, and I just want to thank the people of Zimbabwe for supporting us. We really appreciate it, and continue to support us. Thank you.